Hi, Sean Huckster here. Welcome to Magical Little Worlds with me. Another fun day. So, as I've posted before and talked about in forums, I saw this walkthrough of Toy Fair from Mattel, and there were some sets I'd not seen before on display. And of all of the sets that were on display now, I have every one except for Planet Polly, which I still haven't seen in any accessible place except for England, which shipping would more than double the cost of the compact, so I haven't bought it yet. And it'll show up, so I'm being patient. But this is the last of the others. And so we've already done the ring case. We've done the little unicorn sheep. I forget the name of all of them, by the way. I just did Gabby's dollhouse. And now this one is the one I've been really excited to get because I love water-themed sets, like underwater themed. And this is, lots of stuff. Finally, packaging. Yeah, this is Glitter Island Compact. Now I thought it was an interesting name, Glitter Island. Let me just stabilize my tripod. Glitter Island, it's not exactly very distinct, the name, because it's so reminiscent of other sets that it would be easily confused with other sets. We've got Sparkling Mermaid Cove, and there's so many that are similarly named. But anyway, look at this. I love the coloration on this. Turquoise is beautiful, and I've really been eager to open this one up to see what the whole deal is, because I do love my water play sets. I love the Keepsake Collection, Mermaid Cove, and a lot of the ones that I buy are either space, winter, or water themed, and I do love my water themed ones. So we're going to find out what this is all about. I'm already liking the accessories. Pretty impressed. This is the Mattel 80th logo, and they've rebranded, as I've talked about before, with the old Polly Pocket logo, with the only difference being instead of two hearts being here, we've got the two hearts inside the O's, which is really kind of cute. It's a really nice way to update the logo, with a big heavy drop shadow. And as I've talked about before, as long as the drop shadow is dark and the text is light, it works fine. Unfortunately, on their Ruby Compact, the ring, they did it silver in reverse, so it looked really, I gotta tell you, it looked bad. But this looks great. This looks absolutely fantastic. And let's have a look at the set. So it is, without revealing too much, it is 2025, so it's brand new. These are the other sets. I have reviewed this one. I have reviewed this one. I have not reviewed this one because it is not available yet as far as I can tell. When I review this, I'm afraid there's going to be some disappointment because I have been looking at photos and it is almost a recast of the Saturn set or the Moon set. Can't remember the name now, but the one that came out a few years ago, which I absolutely love, which comes with a lunar rover and a UFO with an alien inside. This one is basically a recast, but it's missing the lunar rover and it's missing the alien, and it's replaced it with some accessories that were just reused accessories from other sets. So I think this was going to bring some disappointment, but I'm going to get it anyway because I get all the space sets. By the way, if you're a 0 to 3, don't buy this set. I'm pretty sure you're not. Tiny World's Big Surprises is back as a logo. Oh, look, they still have Polly wearing that purple heart, even though they've sort of abandoned that idea as a theme. So this is the set. Not going to tease it too much here because we're going to get to opening. I love this new pastel and turquoise and pinks and yellows. This is so vintage. I love it. So, without further ado, we're going to open one of my favorite themes, water sets. If there's a narwhal, by the way, in a set, I'm all over it. And I gotta tell you guys, I'm incredibly excited because they have announced an elf collab compact in the vintage style with the old Polly Pocket styles, and one of the figures is the narwhal. My wife is a big fan of narwhals. We met a narwhal back in the 70s. There was one trapped in our bay, and we got to meet that narwhal, a little baby narwhal with a tiny horn about the size of that one maybe, not as thick, but about as long. She wrote a poem about it, which is a centerpiece of a book that she wrote, which is beautiful. Anyway, narwhals are big with us. And so here's one right here, and I've got a bunch of sets with narwhals in them. Can't tell you how excited I am. So, also excited that these backs don't come off easily, because in the past, some of these sets, the purple-green sets, these backs just fell right off, especially the smaller sets. But this one, on rather well. I think they learned some lessons. Now, that was satisfying. So here's how you put the compacts together. Usually these are just done in monochrome, but looks like they did this one in color, which is kind of fun. So many sets, not all, but many sets come with two separate pieces that you have to snap together yourself. So, for now, packaging. And let's get the lower compact out. I gotta tell you, I am a big fan of the scallop shell shapes in vintage poly as well as modern poly. And this color is one of my favorite colors of all time. That's one set. Now we'll pull the clam out. Clam shell that holds the rest. Not that clam. This is a scallop. This is a clam shell. Not the same. Packaging. I think you can tell by my voice that I'm kind of excited. Now we'll pull out the other part of the compact right now and put that aside, because we're going to concentrate now on the, like we did with the previous set. The what was that I opened the other day? Oh yes, Gabby's Playhouse, Gabby's Dollhouse. I'm going to start opening these, and these tend to go flying, so I'm going to flip this upside down and push down so they don't go falling all over my floor. Keep going here. Let's get those out. And big gold sparkling thing. My narwhal. And also, by the way, I love octopuses. And here's like not just one, but two. And seahorses feature fairly heavily in vintage Polly Pocket sets as well. And here's Polly herself. Well, not necessarily Polly. Make sure we got everything out of the packaging. Packaging. Right. Okay, yeah, you can tell I'm excited. Before we put the compact together, even look at it, we're going to look at the accessories. Starting from small, we've got a little crab. Oh, I do like that. Oh, by the way, I've been crafting and painting as usual. Don't worry about it. I've got some fun things to show later when I show off what I've been creating. This is a crab. Really love that. It's got a peg hold, so it can be fit into into the set. Now I'm going to zoom in a little just to get into the accessories a bit more. Then we got a turtle, often showing in Polly Pocket sets. Love it. Absolutely love it. We've got coral. In coral. A very nice color coral in coral. And there's another piece of coral in a bright pink. Love that as well. I'm bringing this up for a reason. This is, looks like a, wow. I mean, if I didn't know better, I'd say this was like a, yes it is. It's a cash register and maybe food. Oh my God, tell me that's not calamari. That would be really awful. Oh, I bet you it's not. Coral up here, then shells. I think this is like a food vending booth, which is interesting because we see that a lot in Polly Pocket sets, but I've never seen one in a set that purports to be underwater. I'm gonna leave the narwhal till second last. And here we have, oh, a beautiful shell. So this is a standard periwinkle shell, I guess. I love those. In a kind of a very iridescent gold. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Then we've got, oh, it's a flexible rubbery seahorse, and he's got a peg here for sticking onto a wall piece. Seahorses, like I said before, feature pretty heavily in some Polly Pocket sets. This is an octopus. They didn't paint the face. Maybe I'll do that. But you can see the face. That's good. You know what? I'll probably paint that face. And a wee octopus. Octopus mom and dad, maybe? Well, this, yeah, so he's got this one's got a face too. That's good. Because, yeah, I'm probably going to paint those because I really can't see them right now. And then we've got, well, look, this, I'm burying the lead. Then we've got the narwhal, which I love so much. Now, this is slightly flexible rubber. Not really, not rubber, but yeah, I guess it's rubber. Flexible, but not as flexible as some things. Certainly not as flexible as the seahorse. And this is a narwhal looking very much like the narwhal from Elf. And I have to wonder, is this a recast or is this mold going to be the one used in the Elf set? I don't know, but I'm going to check that out because that's worth looking into. Finally, we've got Polly, and it's not Polly, unless Polly is pink, dyed her hair pink, which is fine. It's a character anyway. She's got a star, sea star necklace in this stippled pattern that has been used in modern printing systems lately. Same with the, let me steady my hand a little, same with the face. And she's a mermaid, which is great. Very appropriate. Okay, that's all the accessories. Let's get to the compact, because this is, I am so excited about this. This is one of the ones I've really been looking forward to. And so we take the compact, we've got the two pegs here, we've got the two holes here, and some of these compacts that came out in recent years have a pin to put through the hinges, but this is a simpler system. It's also very strong. It's not going to come out. You put one in, then you put the other in, and you snap. And then, that's fine. We are back, by the way, to the original type clasp. Instead of the gold heart, which is often slips or falls out and doesn't really hold tightly, this holds nicely. Okay, looking at the compact. I mean, kawaii is where it's at right now. Not my favorite thing, but I do love this. I've seen this this little figure called the merbear, and I'm pretty sure this is like a teddy bear mermaid. So Why they didn't include one in the set, I don't know. Maybe there's one molded inside. I haven't looked yet. In the colors that I love, I do love. I love teal and like a burgundy together. Pink, not quite, but pink and teal and turquoise kind of really go nicely together. I love the yellow face. The eyes are great. They are doubling down on kawaii this year, as you can tell by the Planet Poly set. And I'm okay with that. It's where the whole toy industry is going right now. I mean, there'll be a backlash, or it'll come back and that'll go away, but we'll enjoy it while it's here. Let's talk about this set. Now I'm getting too much of it in the one camera view, so I'm zooming out just a little bit. Oh, by the way, bearing the lead, confetti. Oh, this is molded also, by the way, to the tail with scales, with fish scales. It's hard to see because of the confetti, but I'm trying to get the light on it. You can see the scales molded in just the same way that scales are molded into the poly legs, just like that. And inside, glitter and lots of it. I've never been a fan of this idea with the glitter in front, but I'm sure kids must love it. At least there's no slime or kinetic sand in this set, because that's like taking over the toy industry. And I hate slime. I don't hate kinetic sand, though. All right, moving on. We're going to open up the compact and finally see what the whole deal is. I always start at the bottom and go up, because in Mighty Max sets, the bottom was a base and then the upper part was where the exciting stuff happened. A lot of people start with the top and come down. I'm starting at the bottom. In Polly Pocket sets, generally, though, more action is on the bottom. So maybe I'll reverse that stance. So what do we have first? We have a beach scene. Very common in Polly Pocket sets to have that done in kind of a bright yellow. And then you have all these little inlays. I do love the fact that they're making paint colors in here now, because a lot of Polly Pocket sets of late have a lot of details carved, like this shell here, but no paint. This era, some of these, what they're doing with some of these is molding in these pieces into a piece below and then leaving holes on the top piece. And with CAD modeling and computer-aided modeling, that's a very simple prospect. Whereas if you were sculpting this by hand, like back in the 70s, that would be very hard to do. So they, in old Polly Pocket sets, they painted it instead of doing inlays. There was the Starlight and Starbright dinner party sets. One was vintage and one was a keepsakes collection that came out recently. In the original, these little details like this were painted, and in the new one, they're inlaid, which is, like I say, easier to do nowadays. So we do get a lot of nice color, which I love, because, like as I said, often this is just unpainted and bland, and you kind of want to paint it yourself. But they also have turquoise back here, which are splashes of water from these rocks. That's part of this shell inlaid, and this is part of this inlaid, which is nice. We have this beautiful piece of, I want to call this coral, but I think this is like a bed of anemones. Yeah, or sea tubes. I forget what they're called exactly, but they are they're living creatures. And I see a star here, and I highly suspect, yeah, there's function here. I think you put something in here and you do this and it launches it. I will bet you anything that the seahorse is meant to fit in there. Let's see. Did I lose my bet? No, it works. But you kind of got to push them down a little bit. Nothing else in this set is small enough to fit in there, I don't think. Certainly Polly won't fit in there. So I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons the seahorse is there. I wonder if the crab can do it. Let's see if the crab fits. No, the crab's a bit too big. All right, so that's kind of a fun function. I've always been a fan of lever action. Often pushing the lever down will push up something. This is a spring-loaded lever launcher by the look of things. Now right here we have, often seen in many sets, especially the hidden compartment sets, the hideaway sets. Every set there had a circular moving piece in the middle. This is a ride, obviously, and you got your octopus right here. That's a third octopus. Can't argue there. I love octopuses, octopi. And there's a sea star in the middle, and I believe this rotates independently. Yeah, it does, which is kind of fun. But it also acts as the hinge for the piece. And then there's a pin here. So I'm going to put Polly in here for now, and Polly can go riding around. Yeah, excellent. So we have two chairs, but one person. I think like a lot of Polly Pocket sets, you're going to have to bring in friends from other sets, I think. I wonder if she can even sit in there because of her tail. Let me just try this for a second. Pop her tail in. Lift her arms up. You know what? I think she will, because, yeah. So the tail that would normally hinder placement doesn't matter, because it's her hips that fit in there. So yeah, she does fit. That's excellent. This is translucent glittery blue, which of course is appropriate to a Glitter Island set. And that's just the bottom, guys. We haven't gotten started. Okay, up top. First thing you have is this piece of blue translucent water I've always been a fan of blue translucent water in many sets that they have. A lot of sets in recent history, especially the zoos and water park themes, or water, I guess water zoos, like Water World, where you have igloos and penguins and polar bears and all sorts of sea creatures. There's often a blue translucent set to that. Up top, we have the yellow down here with some details, some shells and things. Then we've got this beautiful pink coral reef. And in here you've got the merbear. Again, I've never been a big fan of stickers that have characters in them. I don't mind like set dressing like fish or coral. When there's a character in there, I kind of almost want to see the character as a piece rather than a sticker. But you know what? I'm not complaining about this set. Not yet anyway. I haven't seen any reason to. Another blue translucent piece here. You'd want to have, you kind of want to have that some movement or something, but I don't think that does move. I think it's just a wave. It's interesting too, because this is definitely an ocean wave top, because the sticker shows some here, but also you've got a beach here with grass and a rock. So you've got actually a land area above the Sparkle Cove, the Sparkle Island. This is really cool. And then you've got a fourth octopus. And the fourth octopus goes up and down this slide, which a lot of sets have. I really like sliding features. And look, it swings a little as it goes, which is kind of nice. Well, that's the meat of the set. Quite fond of it. Let's start placing some pieces. So we do have some side hook decorations, or some side peg decorations, so you can place. You know what? I'm going to put him in here because that's kind of where I think he's supposed to go. Whoops, he falls out easily though. Okay, I've already put Polly here. Since there's an octopus here, I'm going to put another octopus here. I'm going to put an octopus here. Actually, you know what? I think I need to put the little guy over here because there's a little bit less room over here. And put put the larger octopus over here. It's good that there's pegs here too, because now you've got a peg for a person. Let's put Polly back on the ride. So now you got the octopuses and Polly all riding around, which is great. Now with the crab, there's a bunch of pegs here, which is great because a lot of sets only have a few. There's really a lot, and there's even. I'm going to put the crab up here because I think that is awesome. I am so happy with the crab, I can't tell you. The turtle we see frequently in Polly Pocket sets, as you'll see. I'm going to put the turtle right here. Turtle can also go on the slide if you want. I am going to put the seahorse there though. I'm going to put a shell. Let's see, is there a hole in the shell? I'm not sure there's a peg hole for the shell. Oh yeah, there it is. I think so. Let's pop that right here if it'll go. And it will. Coral. Now coral kind of wants to sit in the ocean. So I'm going to put some coral here. Is there another peg down there for coral? If not, I'll put some coral down below. Yeah, right next to the pink chairs. That's appropriate. And now we need room for the vending booth. Now when I put the vending, you know I can't put the vending booth there. I'm going to put the turtle here. Because if I put the vending booth there, this won't come down. But if I put the vending booth here, I shouldn't have a problem. Let me see, vending booth right here. There we go. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, because my favorite thing in the world, just about, a narwhal, which I'm just going to leave floating around. Okay. Real talk. I think of all the sets I've done so far from the new 2025 line, my favorite. Yeah, I've really been looking forward to this. Having it arrive today was just a big highlight of the day. But I'm not done talking, guys. Already 18 minutes in, we've talked about this, but I want to show something. My love of the underwater sets has gone to other sets. I've got more besides this, but this is the mermaid ring case that came out this last year or two. Again, you've got dolphins, and there's a little another seahorse here. Seahorses feature heavily. You've got Polly here, who's not Polly, but she's a mermaid. She sits in the ring in a shell, which does not close. This tail here, which is very similar to the tail on this Polly, is molded into the ring, but she has a tail as well. When you fit her in there, she kind of hides her tail, and this is supposed to be her tail. But she comes out, and then there's a little sand castle here under the ocean. Then we've got the keepsake collection, Mermaid Cove, I think it's called. I did a review of this a while ago. Really fond of this set too, but you can see the yellow. This one actually has painted details. I think for the classic or the keepsake collection, they can't remold them as much. So because this is supposed to have been an unreleased set that they finally released for the keepsake collection. So it's not like they could go and carve out all these inlays, but they painted it instead. And that's absolutely fine by me. And again, lots of coral, there's a jellyfish there. And turtle. See, turtles feature quite heavily in undersea sets, as do shells. The shell opens up, there's a ring inside. There's a treasure chest here that opens. I've reviewed this, you should go back over my videos, but there's lots to see here, and I recommend. Oh, this guy here, I guess that's a jellyfish, whereas I called this an octopus. I'm thinking jellyfish now because of the little ring around the neck. Yeah, so that's a jellyfish, and clearly that's another one here. But I gotta tell you, a little while ago, I bought this beauty. Now it's missing the label, that's about the only thing that's missing. This beauty is one of my favorite all-time Polly Pocket sets. This is the Sparkling, I think this is also called Sparkling Cove. This opens up as a book and has the most magical undersea interior ever. But you can see the themes of this set, this vintage set, being carried over to this set, and even this set. There are so many functional, interesting things. There's your sea tubes I talked about. There's a shell here with more coral inside. The only problem I have with this whole set is all the glitter that I don't like, but it is just deeply covered with things. It's got a full shipwreck, and that full shipwreck has function. There's an anchor that swings, a hatch opens, the characters slide out here. There are two seahorses in here. Those seahorses, not a lot of people know, connect to the shell and pull it like a sled, so that Polly, oops, I didn't want to do that because now I got to repack it. You know what, whatever. And then there's another turtle here. These are all vintage and are it tells you how much of a love story this is to this set and to other vintage sea sets that Polly Pocket has done in the past. And anytime they show such dedication to their heritage and past by making a set that is so beautifully reminiscent of the originals, I'm all over it. So, like I said, you can tell from my voice, I'm pretty happy with this set. I'm actually over the moon. Let's not talk about the moon, because then the last one of the 2025 sets that I'm aware of so far will be the Planet Polly, and I'll review that the minute I get it, trust me. There is another set that came out in 2025, and it's a large rabbit, and I don't really want that one, so I'm not even talking about it. But, just gotta tell you, my underwater sets I'm quite happy with. That's enough. Okay, thanks for watching these little special guests. I'm gonna slide back, and I'm just gonna, last before I go. One of the things I'm not so happy about with some of these sets is they give you far too many accessories to fit back in again, so I'm not even going to try. I'm going to assume that you can fit some things up here and maybe you can close. So I'm not going to try to close it. I'm just going to lay them flat for the moment. Close it briefly so you can see once again this beautiful exterior. And that, with all the others, thanks for watching. This is Sean Huckster with Magical Little Worlds. So excited. Thanks, guys. Bye.